Portable planers. Are they awesome? Well, yes. Do they also suck a little? Also yes. This is my very old Mikita 2012. And it is the older model of the much more popular 2012 NB. To be totally honest, I don't know the difference between this one and the NB. I do know that this one is well, she's more than 15 years old at this point, so whatever. Now, one of the tremendous benefits of this versus a more traditional big planer is the ease of blade change. This is a two-head cutter, and it uses blades that are indexed, carefully ground, so there's no setting. Now, it is true that a properly set three-head, like old Powertec, where you've gotten out the dial indicator, you can get them much closer, much finer tolerances. But very few people need that, and this thing does a very nice job. Now, these blades have already been out of it a few times and sharpened. If you're curious about that, you can skip to the end of the video or go to my video description. I talk about how I've been quite successful at getting a sharpening or two out of these disposable blades. But it's time to just simply replace them. Now, what I was able to acquire off Amazon were these Powertec 12-inch blades for essentially the same price as one set of official good Mikita blades. I was able to get two sets. And I figured, what the heck, we'll give it a try. And I'll kind of show you the difference between the two, if there is any, and give you my thoughts on it. So, comparison. At first blush, still inside their packaging, they look identical. You want to be careful opening them because you sure as crap do not want to bend these. These were the official Mikita blades. This one right here, this used blade. This one, this is the Powertec. First off, I can see the laser etching in the bottom of the Mikita blade, and it has a finer grind. Much finer grind. Now, you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt, because what I've done is I've sharpened these. These blades have been sharpened twice now, and so I've polished off, but you can see the original etching there, right? Well, this is etched at a much steeper angle, and let me get a rag. Okay, you can see those etches. This blade has a burr. All along its edge, it has a, I don't know if I can catch it in the light or not. It's particularly bad right there. This has a burr to it. That means that this final grind was maybe a little coarse, a little rough. Well, we knew that, right? We knew that if you're going to get blades for half as much, there might be a few issues with them. Yeah, there's a burr on this one too. Boy, I can't tell on the camera lens if you can see, but there is a line of light that reflects right off that edge. That's because this edge is rolled over. I do not remember at this point if these had burrs when I put them in originally, because as I've said, I've kind of polished and sharpened them more than once now. So what does it mean that it has a burr? Well, that means that the grind isn't maybe quite as precise, and quite frankly, they're just not as sharp. They're going to feel wicked crazy sharp, but that's because your skin is hanging up on the burr. I wonder if there's a difference in width. This might be a waste of time because I don't want to use my good metal calipers on this. We're at maybe 8.2 millimeters there. Width on the Powertec blades, brand new. 8 millimeters on the Mikita factory replacement blades. Now that would, I suppose, make sense, right? Because like I said, I have sharpened those more than once. The issue I'm debating with myself right now is do I want to whetstone the back of these in an attempt to get that burr off? I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put them in. Well, let's get them in the machine, and we'll do maybe a cut. We'll look at some cuts, see how they run. To start it out, I'm going to run this really old piece of fur with some nice big knots in it. We call this sliver fur because there's just literally no way to touch it without filling your hands full of slivers. I'm also running my dust collection. Silky smooth. Little bit of grain tear out right through there. And a little bit of tear out right through there. And that's from running the wrong direction grain. I can see the individual cutter head impacts of where the blades came around, and I can also see where chips of wood were passing through the rollers, leaving these depressions here. But that's not the fault of the blades. That's the limitations of the machine. So I'll let you know long term if anything changes. But at first blush, I would say that the replacement Powertec blades are the equal of what I got out of the replacement Mikita blades. With that burr, I was really prepared to see a much crappier run. I don't see that. I suspect it's probably due to the fact that they are wider, 0.2 millimeters, than the replacement Mikita blades, and I think that's what's given it the cleaner cut. I suspect that the edge of my cutter bar was getting close, the chip breaker inside there. And that easily could be from me resharpening these. And certainly comparing these two to what I just put in the machine, that's not a fair trial of these. But in terms of, are these twice as good? I can tell you that right now, the answer is no.